All right, we're just moved in on another one right up the road from the last one that we did, the little shaped out pond. So we're just moved in on this one, and I'm just going to show you guys. It's just going to be a square pond, but we've got a little extra challenge ahead of us. The homeowner just has marked, he just threw a rag on the ground for now. But this is one corner, another corner over there, and then the other two corners are back there about where he's standing, and then one over there. But the challenge, of course, is that we're basically filling his property. This is his one property line, that's a property line, and over there's a property line. So we've got to try to find a place to put all this dirt because he's not going to truck it out. We're just going to stockpile it all. And I've got to get all these trees in here down first, which there's a couple that are pretty big. They're big, a couple hardwoods, so I'm hoping maybe I can recover a little bit out of them. This one, I think, I want to call it a hickory, but I'm really not sure. It might be an ash. I'm not good with my ashes. I don't know. Anyway, I think it's just defoliated from the summer heat. It is a little dead up top. But it's got to come down anyway, so we'll see what it is. See if we want to do anything with it. He's got two more back there on the back fence that technically aren't in the pond. I think at least one is a white oak. They both kind of have a white oak structure to them, and they're not huge. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So the trees got to come out. The dirt, we're going to stockpile some dirt right in here. He's going to clean up the wire and stuff and trailer, and then the rest of the dirt is going to go over here. And we've got a couple, at least one big stump in there he's got to dig out. And we may end up taking down a few more trees because he's got some other trees that are dead standing that aren't in the pond that I think we'll go ahead and take down just while we got the excavator here. It's safer. We'll go ahead and take them down and get them on the ground, and then I'll see about logging them out. But anyway, I'm gonna get in here and just cut a little notch right now. I'm just gonna make a little scrape in the ground here and here to mark these corners a little better, and then we'll go to digging out trees and laying them down. All right, well, I don't even know where to begin on this transformation, but here's where we're starting to stockpile our dirt, but here's where the pond is going. Here's where several trees were at. I'll show you the pile of trees here in a minute that we took down today. There's actually, there's one stump busted off right there in the shadows that I couldn't dig out because it was right on the fence line. But I snapped the top of the tree out because it was dead, which actually that tree's dead, but it's not a concern, I guess. Anyway, 5 hours total that I put on it today. Probably a little bit less than that actually, but got all this shaped out and had to bale a lot of dirt again. The dozer's here running, but I think he's got issues with oil or something. He keeps having to shut down, the engine's getting hot or something, I don't know. Anyway, so between knocking out the trees, I think the trees was about 2 hours, and it's been about 3 hours worth of digging, but I'm really happy with it. It's a little pond. There's not, just a little square round pond. But here's our pile of debris. This is a pretty big red oak here that was dead, but it feels really solid. And there's a older, deader, rottener, very large white oak. So this big boy on this side is a white oak. I don't know how much good wood's going to be inside of it, but we'll at least saw the butt off and take a look and see. And then there's a couple, mixed pin oaks, and here's a couple more dead white oaks that I think are probably all going to be too rotten to salvage. But basically, we just windrowed everything for now just to get it out of the way. And then when we finish digging the pond, I'm going to pick this pile back apart and see what I can get out of it for useful wood. But that's it for today. I've got around, oh, there's one more. This white oak here is dying. It's not dead yet, but it's dying. So he said we'll go ahead and take it down, and I'll get to bring that one home too, if it's any good, of course. Anyway, I'm hot and tired. Going home for today. So just walking back in this morning. After I left yesterday, the dozer operator actually got on Rosey. Said he spent about another hour on Rosey, and he baled all this dirt back here. I guess he likes Rosey better than the dozer. Said he spent about an hour on Rosey and a little bit of time on the dozer, but it looks to me like it's all Rosey work. Which is fine, I get paid for it, you know. He's operating and I get to bill for the machine to run, so that's fine by me. But I think, you know, we've cleared up a big space to start baling clay out of the bottom here. But I think I'm gonna need to get up on top of that pile and actually flip a lot of it back even more in order to get the final bank clean. But to show you just what's down inside the pond. So he didn't actually dig anything out of the pond. He just cleaned off the bank up here. So today we'll be getting back down in here, which I'm gonna dig. I'm gonna get back down in there where I was, and I'm gonna dig that far side as much as I can and basically just back up a little bit, and then I'll finish out this front bank right here. Will be the last thing I'll finish out. So yeah, it should go pretty quick. Lots of just flipping, but we're gonna be going as deep as we can. So we shall see just how deep we can comfortably get, I guess. There's not a whole lot of space to work here, but we're gonna take her down deep as we can. And then last thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna knock a stump off a couple of these trees and throw them down in the bottom of the hole, because he said that it's for his son to go fishing in. So, oh, let me come over here to Rosey and unload some tools here. We'll put the drone up and get some new pictures, and then we'll get to work. All right, well, here's the grand reveal for what it's worth on the pond anyway. I may still change it a little bit. I might put a few more stumps in there. I haven't decided. This stump's really got really good fibers on it. I might knock it off and drop it down in the pond. Here's our mountain of dirt. The dozer, you know, has wasted some of it around location, but ouch! I just scratched my arm. Ooh. Anyway, not much of it. So that's quite the heap of dirt there, which, ironically enough, it's pretty much the opposite of the shape of the pond. So this is the last little scrap that I just dug out as I was sloping down this front bank. But I'll just show you what we got going on. So we, you know, it's just a kind of rounded square pond. There's nothing really special about it. Doesn't have quite as much character as I would normally like, but we threw the stumps down in the bottom, a couple of them, just to give some fish structure. But what we did do, because the pond was just so basic and so small on an aerial extent, deep, it's very deep. It's probably 12 foot deep on that end at least. It's shallow, it gets a little shallower on this end. But what we did do to give a little bit more fish structure is we cut a flat bench right here and then sloped it back up. And it's going to be a more gradual slope. The dozer's going to come in and brush it up a little bit, but the guy that owns the dozer came and took it home for some reason this morning. I guess he just figured it wasn't getting used. He lives right down the road. So it'll come back. They'll cut that down flat and then slope that out. Just make it much more gradual slope. That way, you know, you've got a big deep area that'll stay cold or stay cool. For the big fish, you've got some stump structure down in there for them. And then you've got this broad shallow area here, which will work good for your smaller game fish that want the warmer water. And hopefully it'll give them a place to have some spawning beds if they need them. So 'cause those banks over there they're pretty steep. Even at surface, it's pretty steep. Maybe, I don't know, 30 degrees. And this will be more like, you know, 15 or whatever, be real flat. So anyway, we ended up taking out a few more trees that we hadn't really planned on. Actually, I guess just one. Only one that we didn't plan on. There was a little white oak standing right here. And there was a big white oak that was dead right here. And so we'd already said we were going to take that big tree down. I just took it down right here today at the end. And when I started cutting the roots on it, it fell before I expected it to. And it fell right over and just wiped out that smaller one. So, I mean, what are the odds? Hey, at least it didn't fall on the shed, because it was kind of leaning. It's kind of leaning this away. It could have rolled and gone towards the shed, but like I said, instead it rolled and hit the little white oak tree. But I told the client, he said, whatever. It is what it is. He liked that it actually cleans that area up a little bit. He's going to spread all this out and, slope it a little bit more up towards his fence, just to encourage water to run into the pond instead of running away potentially. And he's, planning on building like a little pavilion out here and a dock and all this good stuff. So I'm really excited to have helped him out with it. It was a quick little pond. I've got, on this one, I put 15 hours. No, 14 hours into digging dirt. And several hours of that was, up on the excavator baling dirt back. 2 hours of it was knocking down trees. So actually 12 hours. 12 hours of actually digging dirt, including the time that I spent bailing it back. So yeah, Rosey can make a freaking hole in the ground. I'm pretty impressed. I just gotta get it running better.